Hey, so have you ever had to run your own Secret Santa, but you had no idea where to start? Well, I have got a super simple project for you. It's going to save you a ton of time and make your life a lot easier. So my name is Ben. I'm from Snack Time. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a cool little Secret Santa web app. Should save you a bunch of time. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. So very basic site, but what it does a great job. Let's go ahead and set up a Secret Santa event, and we're going to call this, how about Microsoft's Christmas event 2025. I'm horrible with names. That's okay. All right, so we have a couple of options. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, make it a little bit easy for you to read. We have a budget, totally optional. Let's say the budget is $100, no more than $100. And now some additional criteria. How about no gift cards from Apple, and also no fruitcake? And how about nerdy gifts welcome? Cool. And now we need to come up with some names for our party. Just so happen to have a few. Let's go ahead and paste these names in here. How convenient. And now that we have provided it all the information that we need, let's go ahead and create our Secret Santa party. All right, now we have a bunch of URLs that are randomly generated with the IDs, so you can't just guess them. And these are the URLs that you're going to send the individual people. And this will tell them who their Secret Santa is. So if we zoom in, we have a couple of options. Let's go ahead and grab Holly Carter's right here. So we're going to copy this guy, and let's open up a new tab and let's paste it. And now some cute animation later, we now have our Secret Santa. Let's zoom in, take a peek. Hello, Miss Holly Carter. You are buying a gift for Nick Larson, and here's the party details. This is the event. Budget is $100, and no gift cards from Apple, fruitcake, and nerdy gifts are welcome. Very easy peasy, right? Let's take a look at somebody else. Let's go ahead and copy Mr. Jack Frost. And let's make sure that everything is working as it should. And here we go. Jack Frost Eve is your Secret Santa. Congratulations. And this URL is going to stay around. It's persistent. If you refresh it a couple of times, it's not going to go anywhere. And it's always going to produce the same information. So once it's established, you are good to go. You can navigate from this. This does retain its storage, so if you need to reboot the container, it's going to still have this same information, these randomly generated URLs. So pretty easy peasy, and hopefully a little bit of a time saver for you all that are organizing these Secret Santas. I'm going to show you next up how to install this. It's super simple, and I may learn a couple of things along the way. I'm going to show you a couple of cool things that you can do with Portainer. So we are going to be using Portainer. We're going to be using Docker, obviously, and we're going to be using Nginx Proxy Manager, so we can create a cool little URL that you can give out to all of your Secret Santa event goers. All right, let's go ahead and jump into installation. I'll see you over there in just a second. Okay, so ready to get started? I know I am. So we're going to start off where we usually do, and that is on this little GitHub URL right here. So thank you, Richard1912, for creating this cool little project. I'm going to give you a present, and that is going to be to show you a little trick with Portainer. Let's do this. Let's go under Docker Compose. And if we look at this compose file, we see a couple of things. It does require us to build, which would normally require us to hop on over the terminal, bypass Portainer, and go ahead and build this thing out ourselves through the command prompt. But I'm going to show you how to accomplish the same task inside of Portainer. Super easy. That is my present to you. All right, so we do see that, and a way that identify this is just for look for build. If you see build, just know that you're going to be building this from scratch. You're not going to be able to download a simple image from like Docker Hub or something. So knowing that, let's go over to Portainer. Let's go to our images, and let's go up here. I'm going to make myself a little smaller, tiny, and I'm going to click on build new image. And now we're going to give it a name. And for our name, we're just going to call it secret-santa. And I'm going to mute my microphone. There we go. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And now we need to provide it with the Docker file. So if you see right here, it needs the Docker file, and I'm going to show you where to get that. Except instead of copying and pasting and everything, I'm going to provide it a URL to go fetch that from. Let's go back to our GitHub, and here is our Docker file. You can see it right there. Let's look at that. So if we click on our Docker file, here is all of the commands that it's going to be using to build our image. So it's creating, setting a time zone, exposing ports, making directories, installing things and stuff and packages and all the other fun, happy stuff it's going to do. Not really necessary that you need to know everything about that. Just wanted to show you where it was. So the URL that it's going to be asking for is not the URL at the top here. It's going to be the URL that you're going to get from dropping down this code and copying this secret Santa .git address right there. Once we copy that, let's head back to Portainer and let's paste that right here. So the Docker file is called Docker file. It's you don't need to change this field at all because that's by default what it's going to be looking for. Let's go ahead and build this image. Building an image will take a little bit longer than downloading one that's already been pre-made. So obviously it has to create it from scratch, which is the speed at which it does that is going to be heavily depending on like the speed of your computer that you're doing it on. Also what all instructions it has to do, how much it has to download, all the other fun stuff. So when it's done, you'll notice the little tutorial icon at the top right here will eventually go away and it'll say, something like build image complete. There we go. Image built successfully. Or image successfully built. All right, so now that we have our image, we can click on images and we can see that we have it right here. We can zoom in. There's our Secret Santa latest. We have that all set up and downloaded. It's about 138 megabytes. You can look around my big head. So now that we have that, we don't need to build one through the terminal. Let's go ahead and go to Stacks. Let's go over to our GitHub and let's go back to Docker Compose. Let's go ahead and copy this guy. And let's go back to our Portainer. Let's add a new stack. Let's give it a name, secret-santa. And let's paste it in here. And we're also going to need the .env. If you see it's making a reference to a variable, we need to make sure that we get our .env. So if we go back here and go back one, we see I have a .env example right there. Let's go ahead and click on that guy. And we're just going to copy him, copy the raw file. And once we're back here, let's go ahead and go to advanced mode. And let's paste in that .env. It'll strip out all the comments and get rid of them. That's fine. The thing that we really need to specify here is the base URL. And this is going to be used when you're generating links. So if you're going to have a site like we are going to set up, which is going to be santa.synhow.com, that's going to be the site that we're going to establish here in a second. Let's go ahead and get ahead of that. And we are going to make it secure. We're going to be using Nginx Proxy Manager. Why not throw a certificate on it? And let's change this local host with the :8003 to santa.synhow.com. So let's go back up here and let's do some changes to this guy too. All right, so now we have already built an image, so we don't need to do that again. So instead of build, we are going to replace build with image and just tell it we called our image secret-santa. So now it says, okay, cool. The image is secret-santa. That's awesome. It's already set up, so I don't need to go fetch it. Next up, we're going to be commenting out these ports because we don't need them because we are going to be routing all of our traffic through Nginx Proxy Manager. Up to you if you decide to get rid of that or not. It won't break it if you do, but it's not going to hurt it if you leave it. The base URL is going to be defined in the environment. We don't need to worry about that either. Restart policies unless stopped. And that means it's going to run and fire back up if your server reboots, unless you tell it not to. Container name, we've kind of already established that here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and comment out that one too. These are really good to keep in there if you're building it from the terminal because there's no place to specify the name in the terminal when you're doing that. I'm going to be creating a mapped volume here. So I'm going to be removing this dot slash. It's just going to be called data. And then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to drop down here a couple of times and then just hit tab a couple more times until I get all the way to the beginning. And I'm going to tell Portainer and Docker to go ahead and make me some volumes. And those volumes, if I hit return, are just going to be called data. And that data represents back to that data. Pretty easy. If you have any questions about what we've done here, please don't hesitate to reach out and comment down below. That's what we're here for. I will do my best to answer. All right, I think we're all good here. Let's give it a whirl, see what happens. Let's go scroll down and hit deploy the stack. Cool, we're good. And since we've already have our image, I think went pretty quickly. We can check to make sure that there's any problems. If you click on the Secret Santa and click on this little icon right here, that is our logs, we can see that everything appears to be running normally, which is good. All right, now we need to set up our subdomain. Let's see. Before we do that, actually, let's go back to containers and let's go under Nginx Proxy Manager. If you have not set up Nginx Proxy Manager, Docker, Portainer, or anything, hopefully you have, but if you're a little confused as far as what I'm doing, I will put a link in the video that will show you how to get all of this stuff spun up before. Basically, a lot of my videos go through the same kind of steps, but they all require, typically all of them require Nginx Proxy Manager, Portainer, Docker. It's not that I'm a one-trick pony, but the trick that I do perform is pretty consistent. Let's go ahead and move my face out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to join the Secret Santa network. So that's why I'm editing my Nginx Proxy Manager. So I can go ahead and click join this network. That way, I click join. That way the Nginx Proxy Manager can communicate with my Secret Santa container. All right, so it looks like it's there, has an IP address, everything's hunky-dory. All right, let's go off to Namecheap so we can modify our DNS. If you're using GoDaddy or some other provider for your DNS, not a big deal. We're just going to be creating an A record, easy peasy. The A record will simply say anything that's before or to the left of the SYNHOW is going to be our subdomain, and we'll just route traffic to wherever we specify. I'm going to click on add new record. I'm going to type A record, and our A record is going to be, the host is going to be Santa. And the IP address is going to be the IP address of my server, my external IP address. So I did use Santa because that is the subdomain that I created and specified in the environment file. Remember, I put santa.synhow.com. All right, so that's set up. Let's head off to Nginx Proxy Manager and set that bad boy up. So once you're over here at the Nginx Proxy Manager, let's go ahead and click on Proxy Hosts. And I'm going to zoom my face down here, and let's go ahead and hit add new host. And I'm going to zoom in just a hair so you can see what I'm doing. So my domain name is the one that I just created with Namecheap. It's going to be santa.synhow.com. Enter. And now it wants to know, where do you want to send this traffic off to? Well, it's a pretty easy question. And let's go back to our Portainer. Let's go to our containers here, and let's look at the name. So it called it Secret Santa, Secret Santa, Secret Santa. That's fine. Not that important. You can always change the name if you wanted to. Maybe we should have left the container name in there. It gets all creative on me. Not a problem. Let's go back here, and we don't have to look at it. That's fine. Paste it in there. And if you do end up pasting and you accidentally get yourself a little space in between there, just go ahead and remove it. If not, it's going to cause you some issues. Moving on, it wants to know, what port are we going to be forwarding this traffic to? That's also a good question. Let's head on back to our compose file and find out that information. You could also find it in Portainer if you want to. So let's zoom in. And remember those ports that we commented out right here? Well, on the left-hand side is the port that it's going to be exposing the traffic, or at least it would have if we didn't comment it out. And on the right-hand side is the port that the container is going to be listening for traffic on. Funny enough is they're the same, but that's not always the case. So don't rely on that being consistent. All right, so let's go ahead and copy 8003. Copy. Not that we couldn't have typed it, but you know, we're being lazy. And let's go back to Nginx and let's go ahead and paste it in here. All right, so no spaces there either, which is good. Let's go ahead and block common exploits and let's enable WebSocket support just in case and hit save. Now that we have that up there, we do need to make it secure because that's what we told the container was going to be, and security is good. Let's go ahead and go to edit after we click on the little 3 dots. Let's go to SSL. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's drop this down and request a new one. Let's force SSL and let's hit save. All right, if we did everything correct and in the same order, we should be good to go. We are. I just got my my certificate. I can see that it's Let's Encrypt right here. Now all we have to do is test it out. Let's go ahead and click on the santa.synhow. And here we go. Here is our site ready to go, ready to help you with all of your Secret Santa needs. All right, well, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you didn't, it's okay to let me know by giving me a thumbs down or just dropping a comment down in the section below. I always look forward to hearing from you guys, and I always enjoy reading everything that you post there. All right, well, I hope you guys have a happy holiday, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take it easy.